Hello and welcome to AHS Countdown. I'm your host, Max Besman. I'm joined by co-hosts Taylor Gottney and Reese Kinder. And today we got a crucial matchup between the Percy Julian Phoenix and the number 3 Auburn Tigers. This is the 17th ever time that Auburn and Percy Julian have played each other. And Auburn currently leads the series 12-4, with Auburn winning last year's game 58-7 on the road. Jeez. Now, with that being said, let's start off with the Percy Julian Phoenix. They are currently 1-2 overall this season, with as well as an 0-2 record in the region, with a loss in Week 3 against Opelika, 44-8 on the road. However, that is also the last game they played since they had a bye week last week, so maybe they've improved a little bit.
Well-deserved bye week after those two big losses.
I don't think they improved that much.
Hey, we never know. Maybe Coach Jaquay Everett, which speaking of him, it's his second season as the head coach of the Phoenix, and this team is still in a transition phase, so both in football as well as a school, with this being their first year as Percy Julian. All of that being said, what are some things that this Percy Julian team will need to do to secure the win tonight?
Well, it's definitely safe to say that this offense is not this team's strong suit. Only 35 points in 3 games is not super good. And their projected starting quarterback, Bryson McGrew, has not had the start he's wanted this season, of course. And he's only scored a touchdown in their first game.
Oh, no.
They didn't score a touchdown in their past 2 games.
Oh, gosh. Wait, how'd they get 8? Oh,
I think 2 field goals and a safety, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But historically,
like Iowa.
AHS, FHS, their offense has always been really bad. The last time they scored more than 300 points was 2017.
Oh, my gosh.
And for reference to that, it may sound like a big number, but Prattville, a decent team, has done that almost every single season since 2017. So something's got to change. They got to find a playmaker. They got to dig to the JV team. Hey, you want to try to play football? Here you go. And the city of Montgomery football has always just been a little weak. I mean, we saw Jag last week, Percy Julian this week.
Yeah.
It's not always been the best. I feel bad because no one ever comes to their games. We saw the Jag game. No one was at the there was probably more Auburn.
No, there was definitely more.
But no shots to Percy Julian. I'm sure they'll improve this game after the bye week. But I hope they play better tonight against Auburn.
Yeah, I like their offense. They're not good on defense either. Like Max said, they gave up 42 against Dothan, and they gave up 44 against Opelika. You can't give up that many points tonight, especially against a very good Auburn team.
Especially when you can't score.
Yeah. It doesn't add up.
But, Auburn has a good run game, a decent pass game, and if they're able to stop Auburn tonight, they might be able to get an upset, but I highly doubt it. They just got to force turnovers and get big stops.
Yeah, and coming off of a not-so-thrilling 46-0 victory on the road against Jag are the number 3 Auburn Tigers, who are currently 3-1 overall as well as 2-1 in the region after that tough road win over the Jag team, Jaguars. It wasn't really a tough one. I don't know why I said tough. But in considering this Auburn team was somehow they were only a 15-point favorite going into that game that they won 46-0, I guess it's safe to say that they smashed that over out of the water. With all that being said, how did the Auburn Tigers get it done tonight against the Phoenix?
Well, this Auburn offense came out super ready against Jag, scoring 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, the first 15 minutes of the game. The run game did struggle a little bit, which boggles my mind because, Omar Mabson, Tyler Flakes, Jamarcus Webb, they definitely didn't have the game they expected. And against the weak Jag defense, it just didn't really make a bunch of sense. But Crawford Lawfridge, I want to talk about him for a little bit, who was our second-string quarterback, looked great with 6 completions for 91 yards. He actually had a long throw of 56 yards against Jag.
Wow.
So overall, this offense is in a difficult state right now, all the problems happening. And we run the Wildcat a lot, but it did work last week. Maybe it'll work this week. But we're still very good, very strong, and we're looking for a big scoring game to get the momentum going against Percy Julian tonight.
Yeah, last week in Countdown, I said that Auburn needed to stop the run game, and they did. They were able to, they held Jag scoreless. And, if you hold Percy Julian scoreless, that would be 2 back-to-back games that you're able to get big stops and, maybe force some turnovers. And if Auburn can do that tonight, they should be able to get a big win.
Yeah, I think that is interesting what you said about the run game because I looked at it as well. And, Omar only had 35 rushing yards and Tyler had
16 carries for 35 yards.
Yeah, so, it'll be
interesting. And Marcus had negative because I think he only got like 6 carries. He had like -2 yards.
Well, see, that's the thing with these smaller teams. Like, they're not so good at covering the pass. You can just
focus on the
that's
run.
what we saw Auburn University play Samford. That's what their game plan was, to come in there and just
like the run game for Auburn University against Samford was not it.
Yeah, they didn't. I think over the week, I think Auburn probably worked on maybe a lot of long deep shots, because you want to throw those deep shots and get your receivers active, and just you don't have to always involve a run game.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see, because probably the Phoenix will probably do the same thing, probably put 4 up front.
It will be interesting to see what Coach Wag draws up for this game.
Exactly. And with this also being an in-region game for both teams, there is a lot to play for tonight. And like I said before, the all-time series between these two teams, it's not close. Auburn leads the series 12-4 going into this game. However, though, Percy Julian has won 2 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams. And
when?
Yes, you can look it up right now.
When?
It was a while ago, because they hadn't played in a while, but you can look it up. Yes, I'm telling the truth. Percy Julian has won
crazy.
2 of the last 4 meetings between these two teams. So maybe they can make some magic happen tonight. I don't know. But that being said, what are some things that the Tigers need to improve on in order to come out of this game with a W?
So I know that we brought in our backups in the second half, more than likely, but we struggled to get points up with those backups.
Yeah.
In fact, our only point in the second half was a blocked punt by Kyle King for a safety. Which, shout out to Kyle King.
Yeah,
he's a G. He's so nice. He's so cool. But in order to win this game, we must play the entire game through and impress the ranking systems with our high-scoring offense. Because last week, you saw our high-scoring offense in the first half. But maybe we're only ranked number 3 because we had a low-scoring second half. But we got to just keep dominating. I think this will be a domination. I'm being so for real. But I just think we got to keep dominating throughout the game and keep running the score up to get our young quarterback, 2 young quarterback sophomores reps, and get this momentum going before our tough schedule coming up.
Last game, Auburn didn't really have any problems on defense. They were able to get those big stops, and, they had big tackles and forced turnovers as well. So if you just do that again this week, you might be able to hold Percy Julian scoreless like you held Jag scoreless last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and if there's ever a time to, get your young quarterbacks more involved, because we're kind of going through a little bit of a quarterback situation, seeing who we want to throw the rock for the rest of the season. It couldn't be a more perfect time than this. I mean, you play Jag, you play Percy Julian.
And like I said earlier, Crawford Lawfridge with 96 yards. I mean, he had a decent game for what he was given.
You don't want to ever see a guy hurt and stuff like that. But also like you said, it's probably the perfect time because you're playing 2 teams that really haven't been relevant over the past, maybe I would say 10 years.
Exactly. And with that, we move into our keys to the game segment, where now Auburn has different X factors that can help them take over a game. What do y'all think those X factors are or will be in this game?
Well, I say this almost every week, but I'm a huge fan of the run game. I'm a huge fan of just keep pounding the rock down the middle. Maybe do a little outside run with Tremarcus or Tyler Flakes every now and then. But, yeah, we need to establish our dominance early with our powerful run game. And in the first quarter, I don't even want us to throw the ball, for real. I want us to just run the ball every single play until Percy Julian proves that they can stop it like Jag did. Because if you look at the first quarter of pass game, we ran the ball almost every play, quarterback design runs and running back runs.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Jag proved that they could stop it, so then we went to the throw. And with this running back room, it's impossible not to want to. I mean, and the O-line getting pancake blocks almost every single play makes it even better. So we just need to establish the run and hit them with a deep ball every now and then to win this game.
Yeah, Auburn's defense, I love talking about, getting big stops. That's what you got to do this week. You got to get big stops. You got to force turnovers. That's what I've said this multiple times, but it's just one thing. It's a good key. They just got to keep doing this throughout the season. I know you're going to be able to do it every game, but you got to get big stops and big turnovers.
Yeah, going to defense, I actually interviewed Coach Goolsby on Tuesday, and he was talking about how they all got different reps. Like we saw Kyle King, who usually doesn't play, get that blocked punt, Yeah. So he was like, our young guys got good reps. We're ready for this Percy Julian game. We're putting everything into it. We're going to dominate them just like we did last game. So
yeah. Speaking of interviews as well, we also interviewed Coach Ledextric Oliver, the running backs coach, on this most recent on our most recent episode of our podcast, Play Callers. Go check it out on Spotify or Apple. But talking about that interview with Coach Oliver as well, he talked about one of the best thing about this running back room the running back room that Auburn has is it's deep. It's so deep.
I feel like with that, like there's a bunch of competition that makes Omar, Tremarcus, and Tyler all want to perform better to get the reps. That
Exactly.
They
Yeah.
So I mean, it was a great interview. Go check it out. But yeah, no, just spoke a lot of facts, and I mean, spoke about how great this running back room is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they'll perform tonight. And now we move into tonight's player profiles, where we each highlight one player on offense, defense, and one on special teams. And that will be crucial tonight for the Auburn High Tigers. Who do y'all have as y'all's player profiles tonight for tonight's matchup against Percy Julian?
Well, in the last segment, I said I'm a huge fan of the run game, and I've done Tyler Flakes, I've done Tremarcus. I'm gonna have to go Omar this time. I mean, I don't know why I haven't gone Omar yet, to be honest, but yeah, he's our most dominant running back in my opinion. He averages 71 yards a game as a sophomore, and 6 yards a carry. And we were talking to Coach Oliver. He was like, if you get 3 yards every single play, that's a win.
That's a win.
Like that's a first down on fourth down, So he can truck, he can juke, he can hurdle. He's powerful, but he's also elusive. He's the whole package, man. So keep number 29 on your mind as you watch this game in Duck Sanford.
For my player profile, I chose senior defensive end number 54, Marquise Washington. He's going to be very, very elusive tonight. You got to put pressure on the quarterback. You got to force him to throw interceptions, fumble the ball,
Which he has done a lot.
Yes,
by the way,
and you also have to tackle the running back behind the line of scrimmage sometimes too. Get those big losses. This year he's had 6 solo tackles. He's had 9 assisted tackles. He averages 3.8 tackles per game. And with that right there, that's a very good stats right there. Especially, you need a guy that gets a lot of tackles per game, so you can get those big stops and force turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, and then on special teams, we talk about. Marquise Washington's a great shout out. He's just one of our very reliable players on that defensive line.
He's also a really nice guy.
Exactly.
He's super nice.
So, and then Omar as well, just super reliable. Honestly, go-to player. This guy's also really reliable. Number 28, London Carter, the senior holder.
Yes, sir. In my ACT prep class.
Yes, he was the starting holder last year as well. You might notice him. I can't remember a last time that London has badly mishandled a snap. I'm losing my words over it because I can't even think of him badly mishandling a snap. I don't think he actually ever has as his time as starting holder.
I would also want to say about London. Shout out London. When we were at the Dothan game behind the Auburn bench, you saw him in Towns practicing over and over again, and JR.
Yeah.
So he has the work ethic. You may look at a holder and be like, oh, he doesn't do anything, but he does stuff. He is a contributor to this team for sure.
Yeah, I've seen London in games and stuff and practice, and also he's in my ACT prep class, and good guy to be around, just a overall fun guy, and also very good holder. You never see him really mess up, and if he plays well tonight, we should be able to play well.
We also talked to Coach Smith, episode 2 of Play Callers, the special teams coordinator, and he was talking about how London, when he mishandles a snap, he's so mad.
Well, because if he doesn't handle the snap well, then Towns can't boot it through the uprights like he always does.
That's what Coach Smith was talking about.
Exactly.
The special teams is just very well organized. They always when they mess up, they don't pout about it. They get back out there and do their job.
Yeah, well, it's like a eye for an eye, a hat for a hat, because if you mess up, then the other person can't do their job. And, So, but London Carter is the full package when it comes to being a holder, and he is going to be a crucial part not only tonight but the rest of the season as part of this very reliable special teams unit. Probably one of the best not only in the state but in the nation, in my opinion. And now we are going to send you to a quick commercial break, but don't go away, because next up is the Friday night lineup. Don't go away.
Thoughts of suicide may feel impossible to overcome, but with help and support, you can find hope and meaning. Call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK to speak to a counselor, or visit suicidepreventionlifeline.org. It's free, it's confidential, it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And even if it feels like it, you're not alone.
Welcome back to AHS Countdown, and so far this season, we've seen both current co-presidents Cordy Burt and Leah Hardy go 4-3 on the picks, and we also saw Carson Hester become the first and only guest picker so far to go a perfect 7-0 on the Friday night lineup, and he's also one of the reasons, along with football having a lot more games to pick, that Mary Margaret Buck last week as well as future guest pickers on the show, will be picking 8 games from now on instead of only 7. Speaking of Mary Margaret, she got close to beating Carson's record last week, going 7-1 on the picks. And with all of that being said, please help me in welcoming this week's guest picker. She is currently one of the 2 co-vice presidents of HiDef, along with my co-host Taylor Gottney. And sources tell me that she allegedly has an imaginary boyfriend. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Olivia Naughton.
Thank you, Max.
You're welcome. Now, Olivia, as someone who was part of HiDef staff last year, what would you say is the difference between what HiDef did last year compared to what we are doing this year?
Well, we're already about 10 times better, no offense to the people last year, and we have a video board, so.
Yeah. Good way of putting it. And with that, we move into our last segment, which is the Friday night lineup, where we will all pick who we think are going to win the biggest games across the biggest state. And we're going to start off with James Clemens at Florence, a Region 4 at Region 4 matchup. James Clemens is 3-1 and 2-0 in regional play coming into this game, as well as Florence. They're 2-0 in regional play, but they're also 2-2 overall. Who do y'all got in this game between James Clemens and Florence?
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea where James Clemens is, but Florence is favored by 3 in this game, but I think that's just wrong. James Clemens has beaten 3 decent teams in Gardendale, Bob Jones, and Huntsville, and they only lost to a 15th ranked team in the state, Mountain Brook, by only 5 points. Yeah. So they could easily be 4-0 if their game against Mountain Brook went a little bit better, but give me the James Clemens Jets with the easy dub.
I'm also going to pick James Clemens just because it sounds like a fruit.
I'm gonna go with the upset. I'm gonna go Florence. Of course I am.
It's not an upset. They're favored.
Well, I don't really know who James Clemens is. I've never heard of James Clemens. But yeah, I think Florence will win this game. I'm gonna say by a touchdown. I'm gonna say 48-40.
Not a surprise. I'm gonna disagree with you there, Reese. I'm gonna say James Clemens is gonna win this one. They're just a better team, really, when it comes down to it. Florence, they played last week in one of our pick'em games. I'm pretty sure they lost. So they're going up against James Clemens, a team that's pretty good. I think they actually possibly could win Region 4. Now, Region 4 usually isn't very strong, but James Clemens definitely could win. And so I got him winning against Florence on the road. Give me James Clemens, the Jets, like you said.
Pick.
And then next we got, yeah, RP. But next we got Region 2 at Region 2, and it's between Chelsea, who's coming in strong with a 2-2 overall record, 1-1 in Region 2 play, and they're going away against number 1 Thompson, who's 3-0 and 2-0 in regional play. Who do y'all got in this crucial matchup between Chelsea and the Thompson Warriors?
Well, crucial matchup, I'm not sure about that, but last year I rode with the Hornets and the boys, and I got to do it again. Thompson is favored by 40 points in this game, but how can you not root for Chelsea?
Okay.
Everyone wants Thompson to lose. You know, they're the underdogs of Region 3, overlooked by everyone. Yes, they lost to Tuscaloosa County by 21 and Helena by 36, but they bounced back in the biggest way possible in the state, and they go on to 4-12 against Thompson all time with a huge upset win. Give me the Chelsea Hornets.
I also want Thompson to lose, but I'm not silly, so I know Thompson is going to win.
Yeah, I'm not silly either. Unlike Taylor, Thompson wins by about 55 points.
Trent Seaborn's overrated.
What?
So I'm gonna have to disagree with Taylor here. I'm gonna say Thompson's gonna win here because I care about getting my picks right. So I'm gonna go with Thompson beating Chelsea. Give me them by 45 at home against the Hornets,
45.
beating the spread.
You know who's gonna win is Chelsea by 45.
Okay, yes, that's not gonna happen. Maybe an alternate universe, but the Warriors are gonna wipe the Chelsea Hornets, and that's all we have to say about that. Next, we got Region 2. Okay, so sorry, I need to correct myself. That was a Region 3 matchup. This is a Region 2 matchup, and it's between Smith Station, who's 0-4 in the season, and 0-3 in regional play. And they're going away against number 7 Dothan, who's 3-1 on the season and 2-1 in regional play, with their only loss coming to Auburn. So who do y'all got between the Panthers and the Wolves?
So Dothan is favored by 44 in this game. And last week, if you watched last week's episode, I went on a rant about how bad Smith Station was for like a minute straight.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Smith Station is awful. They will not win this game. They probably won't win a game all season, to be honest. So I got Dothan winning this game easily. They have a good Wildcat formation that they rely heavily on, and they have great weapons like we saw in that Auburn game.
I also just don't like Smith Station. I also think they're awful. So I'm going to go with Dothan.
I'm going to go with Dothan. Smith Station, like Taylor said, I don't think they're going to win a game. So, yeah. I can't wait to see Smith Station and
They
Jag.
literally lost to a 5A school.
I can't wait to see Smith Station and Jag. That game should be a low-scoring game. These
The toilet bowl.
but yeah, no, I think Dothan's going to win by a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean, like you said, they lost to a 5A team. The one game I thought they possibly could win this year, they lost 51-10. So I'm not picking them the rest of the year. And I still think that is wild, though, that they are favored more against Smith Station than Thompson is against Chelsea. 44 points.
Chelsea is 2-2.
Okay.
Go Hornets.
So, but no, Dothan's going to win this game by a lot. It's not going to be close. Smith Station might not score a point the entire game. So
Have they scored an entire point the entire
Has their
season?
defense given up as much as Jag's defense has?
I don't know. That's a tough question to ask, but it's probably a lot. Give me Dothan 73-0. I'm going to go the Wolves. And next we'll move on to another Region 2 matchup between Prattville, who's 1-2 overall and 1-1 in the region, and they're going away against Opelika, who's 2-2 overall and 2-1 in the region after losing a surprisingly close one against Central last week. Not going to say I told you so. But who do y'all think is going to win between the Lions and the Bulldogs?
All right, Opelika is favored by 15 in this game, but I do think this will be a very close game. Prattville is always one of those teams that if they have a good season, they could finish number 3 in Region 2, and then if they do bad, they can finish last, but above Smith Station, of course.
Yeah.
But Prattville has not had the season they want so far, but I do think this will be a close game. I believe in Opelika, but I don't believe in them like that much, you know. But their quarterback, Roman Gagliano, is amazing, and he will lead the Opelika Bulldogs over the struggling Lions team. And Prattville lost to Dothan and Foley by more than 30 points. So it's true that they're struggling. So give me Opelika probably by 10. I would say 24-14.
As much as it physically pains me to pick Opelika, I have to pick Opelika, but I hope it's like by a point.
Yeah.
I hope they have fun and do a tie.
I say it's a close game. I say it's a very close game, probably till the end. And I say Opelika wins this game by about 14 points. It's a very good matchup, and I say Opelika
I thought you
wins.
said close game.
I said that 14 points is close.
Okay, sorry.
14 points is close.
Sorry,
So
okay.
So
yeah.
This game's not going to be close. Prattville is terrible this year. I'm sorry. They, like you said, they lost to Dothan by 30 points, which Dothan is a good team, but their only win is against Smith Station. And I think they beat them by less points than that 5A school beat Smith Station. So I'm going with Opelika on this one. Give me Opelika 35-3. Prattville's
He
not
loves
good.
it with the dominance.
And, but this isn't me saying
He's going to
Opelika.
smash that over.
Yes, I would smash that over for this game if I was a bettor. So Opelika wins this game 35-3. Next, we'll move on to a Region 3 at Region 3 matchup between Spain Park, who's 2-2 on the year, and 0-2 in the region. 2 tough losses. And they're going away against number 5 Vestavia Hills, who's 3-1 on the season and 1-1 in Region 3 play. Who do y'all got between Spain Park and the Rebels?
Well, Vestavia is favored by 19 in this game, and I think this is right. I kind of rode the Spain Park bandwagon for a little while in their game against Hoover, and they broke my heart. Hoover unfortunately beat them. But I think Spain Park is a very underrated team. I don't think they're as bad as their record shows, going 0-2 in the region. Region 3 is a hard region.
Yeah.
I mean, you got some good teams in there. But Vestavia is taking the state by surprise right now. I mean, no one expected Vestavia Hills to be good this year. And they'll try to keep that momentum going to further the record to 4-1. Let's go Rebels.
I'm also going to pick Vestavia. I've never even heard of Spain Park in my life, which is probably embarrassing, but I'm just going to
They're another Birmingham school,
Yeah.
but they're small.
Yes, Vestavia.
Yeah, I don't know why I picked Hoover last week. I probably should have picked Vestavia Hills, but yeah, I think Vestavia wins this game pretty big. Vestavia is very good and possibly could make the playoffs this season.
Well, Vestavia is definitely making the playoffs this year, and they have a chance to go far this year, which, like you said, a lot of people didn't expect them to be at 3-1 at this point in the season with games against Hoover and Thompson. But, no, I got Vestavia winning this game as well. Spain Park.
The Auburn commit from Vestavia that we talk about like every single week.
Yeah, Jordan Ross, which I don't think he's committed yet, but he's crystal balled there.
Yeah.
So hopefully he does commit because he is a absolute star, absolute stud player. He's going to sack the Spain Park QB about 8 times, and Vestavia Hill is going to win this game. Give me them 43-2. But next we got
guy.
another Region 3 matchup between number 6
scored
Hewitt
43.
Let's go for two.
Score.
Safety.
What are you saying? There's going to be two safeties in the game?
Yes. So next we got number 6 Hewitt Trustville, and they're 3-1 on the season and 2-0 in regional play. They haven't played great teams, as you saw. They haven't been on our recent Friday night lineups, but they are 3-1, and they're going away against Hoover, who has been on our Friday night lineups, and they have lost a lot. They're 1-3 on the year. They're 1-1 in regional play. Let's see if they can bounce back against a really good Hewitt Trustville team. Who do y'all got between Hewitt Trustville and the Hoover Buccaneers?
So besides Chelsea, this is my actual sleeper pick. I actually did pick Chelsea, but they're probably not going to win. Hewitt is favored by 7, and I think with the struggling Hoover team, that is true. They should be favored, but I have a feeling about Hoover. I have a feeling they're going to bounce back, sneak into the playoffs. Maybe be a first-round exit, probably be a first-round exit. But they'll bounce back with the home crowd by their side. I mean, we saw it against Auburn. Their home crowd shows up. The students show up. Give me the Buccaneers by a game-winning field goal. And their quarterback, Noah Schubach, who I actually saw at the Auburn University game on a visit, will go crazy with 2+ touchdowns easily.
Talk about me picking Hoover. There we go.
It's not your pick. It's Olivia's pick.
Thank you, Taylor. I'm also going to pick Hoover just because we beat them there, so I have good memories associated with Hoover. Hoover.
All right.
Do you know who Hewitt Trustville is?
Can't say I do.
Okay.
You know what I did last week? Made the biggest mistake of my life. I picked Hoover.
Of your life.
And
Over Vestavia?
not ever doing that again.
It's just a
Vestavia is better than Hewitt.
Hewitt wins by like 30 points because Hoover's just terrible, and Hewitt wins.
Here's the thing. This is probably one of the most interesting games that we picked on here recently, because you got one team in Hewitt Trustville who hasn't really been challenged yet. The one game that they got challenged in was against Central, got blown out. So, and that got a lot of people thinking, oh, Hewitt Trustville's not really good. But then they won 3 straight games. Now, albeit it's against nobodies, but they won 3 straight games.
At Tuscaloosa County.
Yeah, exactly. And then you got Hoover, who's played a lot of really good teams, and they've lost. I mean, you look at that game against the Mississippi, the team that's top 10 in Mississippi right now, Oak Grove. They played them to overtime, but they still lost. A loss is a loss.
Is that the closest game they've played against a big team and they've all lost?
I do think so, considering they lost to Auburn 39-4.
Yeah, no, the Auburn game was
21-3.
The Auburn game was 39-14, and the Vestavia game was.
But you look at their 3 losses. You got Auburn, who's ranked number 3 right now. Vestavia's ranked number 5, and possibly should be ranked higher because they've been playing really good football.
Number 4?
Number 4 right now is, I can't think of them off the top of my head. Vestavia should be ranked 4, in my opinion, because I can't even name the person that's there. I think it's Enterprise, actually, might be.
No.
Might still be Enterprise.
No.
But anyways, Vestavia should be 4, and then you got a top 10 team in all of Mississippi, not just in their division. So that means I'm going to go with Hoover to bounce back here. I'm going to agree with Taylor and Olivia on this one. I'm not super confident about it. Hey, Reese, this is one where I can genuinely say, touche if you get this one right, because this is a toss-up here. Coin flip. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers to win this one. Very close, probably like a game-winning field goal, like you said.
Delusional.
And, Hoover's going to win this one. Reese, you're going to get this one wrong. I'm going Hoover all the way.
Bucks. Go Bucks.
Now, the last one we got before our main matchup tonight is a Region 1 matchup. I don't think we picked that many Region 1 matchups.
Nope.
And it's going to be Daphne, who hasn't showed up on a Friday night lineup all year. They're 3-1 and 2-0 in the region. They must have played nobodies. And they're going away against number 9 Baker, who's 4-0 and 2-0 in the region. Has looked really good, playing some really good football. Who do you got between Daphne and Baker?
Baker is only favored by 5. And I think that is true. I think this will be a very close game. But with the home crowd backing them up, I got to go Baker. They're a great team. Home field advantage in high school football is crazy. Like we see it with Auburn, we see it with Hoover. Like we see it with all these schools that aren't as good, but the home crowd pushes them to be better. Yeah. So I think that gets Baker the win. And also I want to highlight Josh Flowers. He's Baker's quarterback. He's a 3-star already committed to Mississippi State.
Yeah.
He committed, I think, September 15th, actually.
Yeah.
So he's going to have a big game to further his senior campaign and probably pull in more offers.
I'm also going to pick Baker just because Daphne sounds like a Disney character, but I've never heard of either of them. But
You ever heard of Baker?
No.
We played him in the first round of playoffs last year.
We played in 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe 3.
It's okay.
But
Baker.
no, I'm gonna go Baker. That game line's pretty. That game line's pretty close. I'm kind of surprised it's pretty close because I've never heard of Daphne before. So, but I say Baker wins probably by maybe a touchdown or maybe 10 points, something like that.
Yeah, I've heard of Daphne before, mainly because if you go onto the website that we use, ahsfhs.org, shout out to them, they always have a Daphne. They've always had this Daphne player on there, and it's like this purple. I like their uniforms. They kind of look like the Vikings uniforms, purple and gold. But I'm going to go with Baker. Screw the uniforms. I'm going to go with Baker to win this one because they put up a really good fight. It was a great game. We talked about it actually on our podcast, by the way, Tigers Den. Go check it out. They beat Foley. It was 51-44 on the road at Foley. So I don't know. I feel like Baker's a really good team this year. I feel like they're definitely going to win Region 1. Yeah. And like you said, Josh Flowers is a baller.
And then they'll lose to Auburn in the first round of
yeah. See,
like they always do.
Exactly. So I'm going to go with Baker to win this one by a lot. So actually, I don't think it's going to be close. I just haven't seen Daphne play anybody. So I don't know if they're good or not, but I'm going to go with Baker on this one. Next, we got our game of the night. Region 2 at Region 2. Percy Julian, who's 1-2 and 0-2 in the region, going to Duck Sanford to face the night before homecoming, number 3 Auburn, who's 3-1 on the year, 2-1 in the region. Who do y'all got between the Phoenix and the Tigers?
Auburn is only favored by 9. And no offense to AHS, FHS, but that is crazy. That is barbaric. That is buffoonish. I said buffoonish week 2.
Big word.
Auburn will assert their dominance in the first quarter over this weak Percy Julian team and show the city of Auburn the talent on the field with the homecoming game. You know, we were talking to Dillard, graduated teachers that used to work here, people that used to come to Auburn High School will come to this game for the homecoming game. And, you know, homecoming, the court, the events, the band, the unit, everything will contribute into this big win for the Auburn Tigers, and we got the pep rally earlier today. So I think the fans are just ready, and we're going to try to get on a roll before our next 3 tough games at Ramsey, at Opelika, and at home against Central. So give me the Auburn Tigers.
Percy Julian is literally a bird, and so I just think that is. So obviously I'm going to pick Auburn, and like Taylor said, the home crowd advantage and all the people coming to watch the game, and our video board, of course,
yes.
And that new starting lineup video. So I'm going to pick Auburn.
Reese, who you picking?
Okay, Percy Julian, the only team they beat is Lanier. Who's Lanier?
And they beat Jag and Smith Station, actually.
Last year.
Yeah. They're the 5A school that we were talking about.
But, you can't lose to Opelika. Or no, Dothan, actually, my bad, Dothan. Can't lose to Dothan 42-6, and then you lose to Opelika 44-8. That's pathetic.
Yeah.
And just like their school, they're trash. Auburn wins by 50, so yes.
Throwing shots.
Yeah.
What did Max do last week?
Listen, I'm gonna try and keep away from the shot throwing right here, but Auburn. I was talking to Dillard earlier this week, our head CTSO of HiDef, and he talked about teams don't lose their homecoming game often, and Auburn especially, we haven't lost one since 2006. So
that was a depressing homecoming.
Yeah, no, it was a sad homecoming, but this one's going to be, we're going to win this one. We're going to win this one by a lot. And I think of your player profile, Omar Mabson, for today's show. We're not going to see him a lot. He might be in there the first quarter, like you said, because he's going to run for possibly like 5 touchdowns in the first quarter. Give me Auburn 112-0. Or 3. They'll get a late time field goal.
No game line anymore.
Auburn proves that they are the number 3 team in the state against Percy Julian, who they're not great, but hey, you know what they say.
What was the score you said?
112-3. I know.
Broke the game line. You broke the game line.
I know.
He smashed that over.
Yeah, he's totally just smashed it.
I'm going to smash this over as well, and Auburn is going to destroy. They're going to smash Percy Julian tonight. The Tigers are going to win, and like Olivia's pick, Auburn's going to win, and that's going to do it for the AHS Countdown pregame show. For myself, as well as the rest of the crew here at AHS Countdown, as well as a very special thanks, to our guest picker, Olivia Naughton. We hope you enjoyed tonight's game, and we hope to see you here next Friday when Auburn football goes on the road to take on Ramsey.